welcome to this live chat facility tutorial. We have had a lot of questions recently about the chat facility and how to use it, so let's get into the video. The chat facility is built with students in mind, with a tool that doesn't need to be parent or teacher led. Each of our pages are linked to the person behind the broadcast, even after it's finished, so you can always ask your questions and get a response about the broadcast. So, let's have a look at how to use the chat facility. To use the chat facility, the first thing to do is to type your comment or question into the chat box. You can now enter your screen name. Your screen name will show when you type your question or comment. Now you will see the chat facility ask for your email address. As I mentioned before, each of our pages are linked to people from the organisation who can reply to your questions. You can enter your email address, which will not be shared with anyone, to get a direct response from the people behind the broadcast. If you do not want a direct response, then click the button at the bottom. People behind the broadcast can still respond to you if you don't provide your email address. This just means you may have to come back to the page to check the response. To type your question, simply click on the chat box. You will then see two symbols appear. The @ symbol will mean your comment or question will be posted publicly for others to see. The email symbol means your comment or question can be sent directly to the person of your choice from the list that will appear. You can now speak to the people behind the broadcast and ask any questions you may have, or check out our partner pages to see the companies we work with who you can speak to right now about their current vacancies. You can also check out our careers page, which connects you to employers. Our live chat service is linked 24/7 to employers from a wide range of sectors, all waiting to hear from you. You can leave a question about how to produce a professional CV or how to prepare for interviews, anything work related, and one of our businesses will respond to you directly. You can also access a wide variety of live interactive broadcasts and video on demand with the live chat support on all pages. Now this bit is for the parents, guardians and teachers. The best bit about the live chat facility is that it is completely moderated, so you don't need to worry if your young person leaves a silly comment, as it will only show on their screen and no one else's. Another great thing about the chat facility is that it is GDPR protected, so no information is shared with anyone else. We will protect all email addresses and will never share personal information of the young people. If you have any questions about the chat facility or the Learn Live channel, please use the email us icon at the top of the page. Thank you, stay safe and stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to the Learn Live channel and to today's Safe and Sound broadcast. Safe and Sound is a project set up by Staffordshire Fire and Rescue Service with the aim to support communities to make informed and positive lifestyle choices, improving their health, safety and well-being, with some safety tips and tricks. This project runs a variety of interactive and practical workshops for people of all ages and is delivered by multiple partners and agencies such as HMB Training, Sporting Communities, Staffordshire Safer Roads Partnership and the police. But first, before we begin, please remember that if you have any questions, please use the live chat next to the video player. If you leave a question on the chat, one of our speakers will get back to you as soon as possible. So now, I'll be handing over the rest of the broadcast to Paul Carter. Paul works for Staffordshire Fire and Rescue Service within the Safe and Sound project, and he will be hosting the rest of the Safe and Sound broadcast. Over to you, Paul.
Thank you, Ellie. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Safe and Sound on the Learn Live platform. Thank you for joining us today. Happy New Year to everyone. This week we have, in no particular order, HMB Training, Sporting Communities, Staffordshire Safer Roads Partnership and Staffordshire Police. The fourth item this week by the police is a poem and video entitled Ditch the Blade. It's primarily aimed at Year 6 and above pupils, so adults, you may wish to switch off for 4 minutes after the first 3 topics. I'll be asking you a question after each of the topics, and hopefully you or your teacher can enter the answer in the live text area of the screen, together with your school name, please. Answers at the end as usual. So let's start with Heather, talking about using a defibrillator.
Hi, Heather here. Today I'm going to go through a defibrillator, what it looks like and what it will say to us. A defibrillator is a life-saving piece of equipment. They are foolproof, you can't go wrong, and listening to the instructions, they're simple. Okay, what is a defibrillator? So shout out the answer to your teacher or your adult now. What is a defibrillator? What is its use? So the answer is a defibrillator, it gives out a shock and it's to restart the heart. When an adult or a child or a casualty has a cardiac arrest, their heart is put out of rhythm and it's like jelly on a plate, so it's wobbling. It's not going bum bump, bum bump, bum bump, it's wobbling. What we need to do is get a defibrillator to stop that wobble and put it back into its rhythm. Okay, so that is what a defibrillator is. Where you are now at school, or even when you're at home, where is your nearest defibrillator? So it could be at school. Have you got one at school? Is it on your community centre? Is it at church? Is it at the shop? Where is your local defibrillator? And they are found in a yellow box. They're life-saving equipment and they're really, really good to actually start that heart back into rhythm. So defibrillators, they all may look different, but they all say the same thing. So the same instructions are usually there and they're foolproof and you can't go wrong. In your defibrillator pack will be a little pouch, and in there will be cloth to wipe away any wetness. There will be scissors to cut up the garment, a razor to shave any body hair. Obviously on an adult, they may have body hair. It'll act as a barrier, so we need to have that pad skin to skin. And there may also be a CPR face shield for mouth to mouth. On your defibrillator, they will have a shock button, an on button, may have a child setting. On your pads, they may have a child setting, a picture of where the child pad should go. But sometimes they might not have that. Certainly, they will show us where it goes on an adult. Adult placement, they go one here and then one. So your heart is here, so one here, and what happens is these 2 pads communicate to one another and analyse the rhythm to see if there's anything happening to the heart. So if it's wobbling, it'll establish that and think, yeah, we need to give out a shock. If it's going bump, 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 and the defibrillators actually feel that and notice that, then it won't give out a shock. So I have got Fred here, and Fred will show you where the pads go on an adult. So what I'm going to do is start my defibrillator. I'm going to press it to child setting and then listen to the instructions, and I'm going to do this on my mannequin, my junior mannequin. Okay, so.
Adult patient. If the patient is a child, press the child button.
So it isn't not an adult.
Remove clothed child, patient.
So it is a child setting.
Remove
it is
the
a child.
child's shirt. Remove packet and apply pads
rid of
on
the
the child's
shirt.
bare skin.
And then put the pads on.
Apply pads to child's back and chest as shown in the picture.
So on the child, because they're too close together, so if I put one on the child, so just pause the defibrillator, it is a training one, so it won't give out a real shock. But if I do them, they are just too close together. That's why we will put one on the front and then one on the back. So roll them over, put one on the back between the shoulder blades. So I'm going to unpause my trainer.
Apply press pads firmly on skin. Press pads firmly on skin. Do not touch the patient.
So I need to
Analyzing heart rhythm.
And make sure I'm not touching the casualty.
Do not touch the patient. Analyzing heart
I can't
rhythm.
give out a shock.
Shock advised.
Because it's not giving out a
Do
flash.
not touch the patient. Everyone clear. Press the flashing shock button.
Now I can. It is flashing.
Press
So it's giving out a
shock
shock.
delivered. Begin CPR.
And it tells me what to do. So I'm just going to pause it. It'll tell us when to do a compression. So it clicks, it counts for me, and it'll pause when I need to do a breath. So let's listen.
10. 20. 30. Give 2 breaths. 10. 20. 30. Give 2
And
breaths.
then I will give another 2 breaths. Just going to pause it again. Now, with the defibrillator, when we have called for the ambulance, they will tell us, so if there's somebody with us or another adult, they may go and get the defibrillator if there's another adult at home, and they will come and switch it on. In the meantime, we're doing CPR. We're still doing CPR. The defibrillator has arrived. We still do CPR. When you switch it on, the defibrillator, and we follow the instructions, and we might need to stop to get rid of the clothing or stop to put the pads on, and we're still doing CPR. We only stop CPR as soon as the defibrillator has told us, do not touch the casualty, stand clear, then we will stop CPR. As soon as we are happy to do so, and then it started clicking like it did, we'll continue doing CPR until the defibrillator then stops again. Usually between each 2 compressions, there will be between the 2 compressions, there will be about 3 minutes between each shock. So a shock was given, we give us CPR, and then about 3 minutes later it will stop, or maybe 1 or 2 minutes. They will tell us, do not touch the casualty, and we'll stop CPR for it to give out another shock. Usually it works on the first shock. The body's response is up to 3 shocks, but I have heard stories the 4th or 5th shock has worked. They are really good pieces of equipment, they're foolproof, you can't go wrong, and they do save lives. I hope you have understood. If there's any questions and your adult can't answer them, I am happy to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, so that is a defibrillator. With CPR, with the use of the defibrillator, will increase the chance of survival by 74%. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Heather. The question is, why must you stay clear of your casualty when the defibrillator is working? Now over to Emma talking about breathing.
My name is Emma. I am a yoga teacher and I work for sporting communities. And I am here today to talk to you about breathing. Now, I know you're all very good at breathing. You do it all the time and you don't even have to think about it. But how we are breathing can affect how we feel. So we're going to look at some what we call breathing techniques to help you feel specific things. So if we were to imagine, for example, that you started to breathe quite quickly and it was all quite short and up in your chest, that might make you start to feel a bit worried or a bit anxious or a bit scared. So the way we are breathing can directly affect how we are feeling. So we are going to look at two different types of breathing. We're going to look at big balloon breathing, which is to help you feel calm. And we are going to look at something called lion's breath, which is to make you feel strong and confident. But before we do anything, we're going to need to have a little bit of a warm up because breathing involves your whole body. So if you are at school and you're sitting at your desk, that's fine. Just push your chair a little bit further back so you've got a bit of space between you and your desk, just a little bit. If you're at home and you've got the space to sit on the floor, that would be great and you can cross your legs. If you are near a wall or you've got the back of your chair, use that to make sure that your spine, your back, is nice and straight. And then to start with, we're just going to warm up our shoulders. So we're going to inhale through our nose and take our shoulders all the way up towards our ears, as high as you can get them. And then we're going to exhale and let them drop down. And again, breathe in through the nose, get those shoulders really, really high as you can get them, and exhale, let them drop down. One more. Inhale to lift them really high, as the highest you can get them. And then this time when you exhale, we're going to roll them back. Nice. From here, we're going to take our hands, we're going to interlace our fingers, and then we're going to push our palms, so the inside of our hands, away from us. So stretch them out, push them away as far as you can get them. And then we're going to take them up towards the sky. Super nice. And then from here, we're going to lean over to the side. So we're stretching out our ribs, and our ribs protect our lungs and our heart. So they're quite heavily involved in breathing. So we're going to come back to the middle, and then we're going to go the other way. Lovely. Getting a nice stretch through the ribs, come back to the middle, and give your hands a little shake. Okay, now you can take your hands and put them on your knees, or if you're near your desk, you can rest them on your desk for now. And from here, we're going to start big balloon breathing. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose, and we're going to take our hands up towards the sky. And we're going to imagine we're filling a great big balloon. And then when we get to the top, we're going to imagine that balloon's deflating. Let all the air out through our mouths. So do it with me. We're going to take a nice deep inhale, filling that balloon, and then exhale, let all the air out. One more. Inhale. Exhale, let all that air out through the mouth. Lovely. Now we're going to take our hands to our ribs and we're going to see if we can feel them move. So we're going to breathe in through our nose. And hopefully your ribs are moving out and up. And then we're going to breathe out through the mouth. And the ribs are moving in and down. Two more. Breathing in through the nose. Filling up that nice big balloon inside your rib cage, and then breathe out through the mouth. One more. Nice. So you can take your hands back to your knees or rest them on your desk if you would like. So that's called big balloon breathing, and hopefully it makes you feel nice and calm, because what we do is we make the breath slower and longer, and that tells our brain that everything is safe. So file that away, remember it for if you're ever feeling a bit worried or anxious, and you can do some big balloon breathing. Now for the other one, lion's breath. So if you are sitting on the floor, I'd like you to come onto your knees and sit your bum on your heels and bring your big toes to touch. If you are in a chair, you can just make sure that your feet are nice and firm on the floor, and then everyone take their hands and pop them between your legs. So if you're on a chair, they can rest on your chair. If you're on the floor, they can rest on the floor, and your fingertips point towards you. So your chest leans slightly forward. And from here, we're going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And then when we exhale, we're going to stick our tongues out, touch our chins with our tongues, and imagine we're a lion. Try that with me. So we're going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose. And then on the exhale, stick your tongue out, make your face as big as possible. One more. Exhaling. Nice. So that is lion's breath, and it's a nice strong breath that we use in yoga to make ourselves feel confident. So there you go. 2 types of breathing, one to make you calm, one to make you strong. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you, Emma. The question is, what are the 2 types of breathing we practiced today, and how do they make you feel? Now over to Hannah with a video about road safety.
Hi, I am Hannah Boast from the Staffordshire Safer Roads Partnership, and I am here again today to give you some more tips to help keep yourself safe when you are making any journey. Today, we are going to be learning how to keep yourself safe when you hear a siren or see blue lights flashing around you. Remember, you should always be looking and listening anyway when you are on or near the road. Hearing sirens or seeing blue lights might be a police car, an ambulance, or a fire engine. By keeping calm and knowing what to expect, you can ensure you stay safe if you are a pedestrian or a passenger in any vehicle. The first video clip is going to talk about what to do as a pedestrian.
Sometimes, in an emergency, a police car, fire engine or ambulance may need to get somewhere in a hurry. If you hear a siren or see blue flashing lights on an emergency vehicle, you should wait and let it pass before crossing the road.
So, as a pedestrian, remember to stay well away from the curb at all times. If you hear sirens or see blue lights, the important thing to remember is not to panic. You must keep off the road and always let the emergency vehicle pass before crossing. Even if you are about to cross the road at a light crossing or a zebra crossing, do not cross and step away from the curb. If an emergency vehicle does approach when you are crossing the road, get off the road in the shortest direction as soon as you can in the safest way possible. After any emergency vehicle has passed, check that there are no more emergency vehicles coming before you continue your journey. The next video I am going to show you today is explaining what drivers should do when they see emergency vehicles and hear sirens. But as you watch it, have a think about how you would behave if you were a passenger in the car in these situations.
Police cars, ambulances, fire engines. As drivers, we've probably all experienced situations where the sirens are wailing and the blue lights are flashing. By keeping calm and knowing what to do, we can ensure we stay safe and reduce any unnecessary delays for the emergency vehicle. If you hear a siren or see a blue light, look for somewhere safe to move left and stop. Keep going on the approach to a bend or on the brow of a hill, then pull over when there's a better view ahead. Stay out of bus lanes, keep off curbs and pavements, and don't stop near traffic islands. An emergency driver won't want you to go through a red traffic light. So don't break the law or take any risks by moving past the light. If you're first in the queue at a red light, stay where you are and leave the emergency vehicle to find its way around you. If you're approaching a roundabout or a junction and you see an emergency vehicle, look at its position, as this will let you know where it wants you to go. If you're already at the junction, be patient and wait for it to come past. There may be more than one emergency vehicle approaching the junction, so check before moving off. On a stretch of road with solid white lines, an emergency vehicle will probably switch off its siren as it follows you. This is because the road layout is unsuitable for overtaking, so keep going at the speed limit if it's safe, until you're clear of the solid white lines. When the siren goes on again, that's your cue to let it go past. On motorways and dual carriageways, pull over to the left to allow an emergency vehicle to pass in the outside lane if it's clear. In slow and stationary traffic, emergency vehicles may use the motorway's hard shoulder, so you should only go onto the hard shoulder if you have an emergency of your own. If there is no hard shoulder, with 3 lanes being used, make way for the emergency vehicles by creating an emergency corridor, like this. Stay where you are, as other vehicles are likely to be coming through. On a smart motorway, 1 or more lanes may be closed because of an incident ahead. You'll know because of red X signs above the carriageway. Emergency vehicles will use these lanes if they can. It is illegal to drive in a lane showing a red X, so you should move safely into another lane. If no lanes appear to be closed, be prepared to create an emergency corridor. Rolling roadblocks like this are used where necessary by police and highways authority vehicles if there's an incident ahead. Stay behind these vehicles until they move left and the incident is over. Rest assured they'll get you moving again as soon as it's safe. Here are some simple tips that will help keep you and everyone safe. Stay calm. Make a point of always scanning ahead and behind. This will give you more time to plan, and that'll really help in an emergency. Don't break the law or take risks, however helpful you're trying to be. Emergency vehicles come in all shapes and sizes, so when you pull over and every time you park, make sure there's a large. Have a good look round and be aware of what everyone else is doing. Often there'll be more than one emergency vehicle coming. Listen for different sirens and look all around before moving off. By remaining aware and observant, we get more time to anticipate and plan. We're greatly reducing risks, and who knows, maybe helping to save a life.
So, what you must do in any emergency vehicle situation is stay calm and be quiet. This will help the driver to remain calm so they can react in an appropriate way. Now you have seen this video, you can talk to your parents, your carers and any drivers that you know so that you can remind them what they should be doing in any blue light situation. Talking to adults about emergency vehicle situations will help to keep you safe in the future. And remember, do not panic. Emergency vehicle drivers are specially trained to do their job.
Thank you, Hannah. The question is, if you're a pedestrian and an emergency vehicle approaches you with blue lights flashing, what must you do? Now over to Andy Bagnall to introduce the video poem entitled Ditch the Blade by PCSO's Andy, Keith Meller and Scott Swan. I must point out that this video is aimed at Year 6 and above pupils.
Hi everybody, my name is Andrew Bagnall and I'm a police community support officer currently based at Longton Police Station on the Neighbourhood Action Team. As part of Safe and about the next video you're about to see. The video is called #DitchTheBlade. What's it about? Well, the key is in the title, Ditch the Blade. It's a poem that we decided we wanted to do last year as part of the Knife Crime Week for Staffordshire Police to educate young people like yourselves and adults about the consequences of carrying a blade. Never is it right to walk out of a house or premises carrying a knife. The consequences for yourself and for other people can be absolutely devastating. If it is that you feel that you need to talk to somebody about a problem that you've got, the police are always here for you. Teachers, lecturers, mums and dads, grandparents, anybody you can go to and talk to them. Never is it acceptable to go out of the house carrying a knife. The consequences are devastating for you and your family, and the choices that you make in life now are the choices that will set you up for the future jobs that you want to do, the person that you want to be. There is always another alternative. I cannot emphasize to you all how important it is to get this message across to you that carrying a knife is unacceptable. Please listen to the poem, take in the words that are said in the poem, and realise that there are other options out there available, safer options that will help you out. Please all stay safe, listen to the poem, and then make your own minds up. Thank you.
A daily paper for all to read, with scary quotes from children, all in need.
I carry a knife for protection.
A young individual who is scared of rejection.
Part of a gang at the age of 10.
With the risk of prison, but no one knows when.
This can't go on.
But what will it take?
Let's all work together to show the difference we can make.
The outcry from communities pleading for help.
Another child taken, expressing the pain they felt.
It's time to take action, no shadow of doubt.
These are children's lives we need to be thinking about.
An unknown child carrying for fun.
A terrible decision that were made by some.
Arriving at school with a point to prove.
Getting in a fight and making a life-changing move.
An innocent child lay on the ground.
Faces shocked, students all stood around.
A terrible decision now affects your life.
Time behind bars, paying the price.
With stats on the rise, increasing by the day.
Working together to make Staffordshire a safer place to stay.
With support from agencies along the way.
A road to recovery and a chance to have their say.
Now.
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 It's time to make your decision. You're at the age.
Walk the wrong path or ditch the blade.
Be the bigger person and your life will repay.
Everyone backing you. We need you to stay.
So you ditched the blade, a tough decision to make.
A hero in our eyes.
With new opportunities to take. Looking forward to tomorrow.
The start of a new day.
But most importantly, a safer Staffordshire to stay.
Thank you everyone involved with that. There's no related question to this, but remember the poem and ditch the blade. So thank you very much to all our presenters and partners this week. The answers to the questions are: you must stay clear of the casualty when the defibrillator is working so you don't get an electric shock yourself. The two methods of breathing are big balloon breathing, which hopefully helps to keep you calm, and lion's breath to make you feel strong and confident. You must stay calm and stay away from or get away from the side of the road immediately. And of course, ditch the blade. The answers will be on a separate sheet after Ellie has signed off. So that's all for this week. More safety messages next week. Thank you Learn Live for all your hard work putting the programme together for us. And remember, it will be available on demand on Learn Live for you to view at any time and to share with others, please. So, just remains to say, take care and remember hands, face, space.
Thank you, Paul, for hosting this extremely important broadcast today. And, like Paul said, there will be more of these broadcasts coming up over the next few weeks, so please keep watching. I just want to say another thank you to all the speakers from HMB Training, Sporting Communities, Staffordshire Safer Roads Partnership and the police. The tips that have been given today are so important. So, thank you. And, as Paul said, if you have any questions for our speakers today, please leave them in the live chat next to the video player, where they will get back to you as soon as possible. That's all from us today. See you this time next week as we have more speakers from Staffordshire Fire and Rescue and their partners and agencies. You won't want to miss it. Bye for now.
Welcome to this live chat facility tutorial. We have had a lot of questions recently about the chat facility and how to use it, so let's get into the video. The chat facility is built with students in mind, with a tool that doesn't need to be parent or teacher led. Each of our pages are linked to the person behind the broadcast, even after it's finished, so you can always ask your questions and get a response about the broadcast. So, let's have a look at how to use the chat facility. To use the chat facility, the first thing to do is to type your comment or question into the chat box. You can now enter your screen name. Your screen name will show when you type your question or comment. Now you will see the chat facility ask for your email address. As I mentioned before, each of our pages are linked to people from the organisation who can reply to your questions. You can enter your email address, which will not be shared with anyone, to get a direct response from the people behind the broadcast. If you do not want a direct response, then click the button at the bottom. People behind the broadcast can still respond to you if you don't provide your email address. This just means you may have to come back to the page to check the response. To type your question, simply click on the chat box. You will then see two symbols appear. The @ symbol will mean your comment or question will be posted publicly for others to see. The email symbol means your comment or question can be sent directly to the person of your choice from the list that will appear. You can now speak to the people behind the broadcast and ask any questions you may have, or check out our partner pages to see the companies we work with who you can speak to right now about their current vacancies. You can also check out our careers page, which connects you to employers. Our live chat service is linked 24/7 to employers from a wide range of sectors, all waiting to hear from you. You can leave a question about how to produce a professional CV or how to prepare for interviews, anything work related, and one of our businesses will respond to you directly. You can also access a wide variety of live interactive broadcasts and video on demand with the live chat support on all pages. Now, this bit is for the parents, guardians and teachers. The best bit about the live chat facility is that it is completely moderated, so you don't need to worry if your young person leaves a silly comment, as it will only show on their screen and no one else's. Another great thing about the chat facility is that it is GDPR protected, so no information is shared with anyone else. We will protect all email addresses and will never share personal information of the young people. If you have any questions about the chat facility or the Learn Live channel, please use the email us icon at the top of the page. Thank you, stay safe and stay tuned.
Yeah. There you go.